Hey, what is up guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be doing a Chase Private Client Bank review, taking a look at the pricing, pros and cons, and really everything you need to know when you're considering getting started with Chase Private Client. What does that welcome kit look like? And really, is it worth getting started with Chase Private Client? So that's what we're going to be breaking down here in today's video. Of course, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into things. Now, Chase Private Client is a specialized banking service offered by Chase Bank. Now, Chase Private Client is primarily offered through their Chase Private Client checking, although it does also include a whole host of giving you that private client status on your entire Chase account, giving you that top level header that says Private Client, as you can see on screen here, and giving you sort of that extra elevated level of experience across your entire Chase account by opening a Chase Private Client checking account. Now, in terms of the requirements, what are the benefits, and what does it actually look like when you're getting started with them? So first, we're going to be breaking down the benefits of Chase Private Client, and then going into the welcome kit and what it kind of looks like when you get started with them, and another way to actually reach their account minimum. So first and foremost, what do you actually get with Chase Private Client checking? So as they say here, you get priority service, relationship rates, and benefits from Chase. Now, in terms of that, you also get additional investing strategies and insights from JP Morgan Wealth Management. Now, their benefits you do receive priority service, right? So you do get best in class service in terms of what that looks like. We're going to be breaking that down later in this video as well with my own personal experiences and what it looks like. Now, from their day-to-day banking or home lending or business, they do have priority service. Now, when they say this, you do generally get a actual Chase Private Client banker at your local branch that you get their phone number, you get their contact information, and you can contact them directly. You do also receive with Chase Private Client a specialized Chase Private Client customer service number that is a US based number. We'll get into what that number looks like later in this video as well. In terms of what are the other benefits, right? You also get relationship rates and exclusive events. Now, in terms of the exclusive events, that is very location dependent. I have not experienced any of those myself quite yet. Maybe in the future, maybe I'll be invited to something like that, but ultimately it's really few and far between, and it is pretty location dependent as well. In terms of those relationship rates, you might get an extra percentage off on your auto or loan rate discount. That's something else you might get with them as well. In terms of keeping your money protected, this section here, in terms of the tools that they use to keep your money safe, a lot of these ultimately are kind of the same things that you typically get on most Chase accounts anyway. When it comes to account alerts, liability protection, FDIC insurance, again, those are going to be pretty standard across any Chase account, so it's not necessarily a private client exclusive. One of the things that is actually pretty big with Chase Private Client, however, I will also share a poor man's private client, another bank account they do also offer that does have this as well, is the no fees on everyday banking and higher limits. So you get higher limits and no ATM fees worldwide, and no Chase fee on incoming or outgoing wire transfers. That includes domestic and international, as well as more. Now, they do have higher limits on other things as well. We'll be getting into that later in this video as well, as far as what other kinds of perks and benefits you get with that. Now, in terms of their minimums, right, what are the minimums you need to open this account? What else do you access? And getting into the minimums first, of course, the fees, the pricing. Now, they do give you a $0 monthly fee as long as you have at least $150,000 average beginning day balance or more in any combination of this account and linked qualifying deposits / investments. Now, the important thing there is linked qualifying deposits or investments, or you can also opt to link a Chase Platinum business checking account. So if you are already using Chase for business, and if you have their Platinum business checking account, you can also just link that, and then you get Chase Private Client for free, which is pretty cool. Otherwise, you do need that beginning day balance. So, and the way you get that beginning day balance is from linked qualifying deposits / investments. So that's going to be your main checking account. But most people aren't going to be keeping $150,000 in cash. Most people are going to want to invest that money, right? So now it does actually count even for their self-directed investing accounts available through their JP Morgan Wealth Management division within Chase. This is JP Morgan, same company as Chase. That's just what they brand their wealth management division as. And you can actually do this with their commission-free online trade, completely free, self-directed investing accounts. That is pretty much the easiest way to hit that threshold and actually keeping your money invested. And honestly, from my own experience with Chase's investing accounts, it's not too bad, right? It's actually a pretty decent setup. I do like it because you get the instant transfers. The money's pretty much deposited right into your investing account. So that does kind of keep things nice, and it is completely for free. You don't have to do their advisors where they take a management fee. You don't have to do that. You can qualify for private client completely with the self-directed investing. And you can open from different accounts in terms of the different account types. They have general investment, traditional IRA, as well as a Roth IRA. So you have 3 different choices there. You could opt for just the regular taxable brokerage account, or you could go for either of these. But if you have 150K in those, then that can also qualify you for Chase Private Client as an additional way. Just want to explain that there because that is a pretty important thing there. Otherwise, you will have to be paying a $35 monthly service fee. In my opinion, not really worth $35 monthly service fee unless you're going to be sending like 1 million wire transfers and you really need the no Chase fee on incoming or outgoing wire transfers. There might even be other bank account options at that point. Elsewhere maybe. One of the other nice things as well is the no ATM fees worldwide. That is another nice perk that Chase Private Client does also offer. Again, so you will be reimbursed that ATM fee. So you can pretty much just use any ATM, which is pretty cool as well, even if it's not, a Chase ATM. Other things they do also give you access to as well is, again, if you have the Chase Chase Platinum Business Checking account, you can get it for free. It is waived the monthly service fee. Or if you have a reduced minimum balance with the Chase Private Client for Chase Platinum Business Checking account, when linked to Chase Private Client Checking. And they also have no monthly service fee on a Chase Business Complete Checking account when linked to a Chase Private Client Checking account. So if you're a smaller business and you're just looking for their complete checking, then that could be a nice little perk there that you're able to hack and kind of get like, okay, no monthly service fee on the Chase Business Complete Checking without having to, maintain certain balances in the business account if you're interested in Chase for Business at all. Okay, if you're not have a business owner, doesn't matter to you. Otherwise, they do also offer their private client advisory services on JP Morgan Wealth Management. Again, you don't have to do that. But that is something, maybe if you're interested in that, cool. They do have that there as well as part of their wealth plan. Again, that's going to be kind of like a separate fee type service. You don't even have to do that. You can still just kind of milk it for some of the other perks that do come with Chase Private Client. Now, in terms of what are the perks, right? When you actually get signed up with Chase Private Client, what do you get, right? So when you go in branch, this is my in branch photo here. They do give you that CPC Chase Private Client. This is their customer service line. This is 100% US-based customer service. And from my experience calling this number, they route you to where you need to go much quicker than going through the basic, standard customer service experience with a regular Chase account. When you have private client, they kind of give you direct line here to the US-based customer service, again, 24/7, 7 days a week. And then they route you where you need to go a bit better and a bit faster than regular Chase checking accounts. That's something really just available with private client, at least if you're sticking within the Chase ecosystem. So that is a cool, nice benefit. You get the phone number right away. This is also the same phone number that you will receive on your private client debit card. Now, the Chase Private Client debit card, it's not metal. It's still just a plastic card. It says private client on it. It's kind of nice, all right, whatever, but it is what it is. They do actually ship it to you with UPS as well, so you do get it pretty quickly when you're first signing up for private clients. You get the phone number, you get the debit card. What else do they give you? Now, those are the standard things, right? You get the phone number, whether they give it to you in branch or you're going to get it on your private client debit card, which is a nice perk there. It's on the back of the private client debit card. Now, what are the other perks, right? So the other perks are a little bit location dependent, depending on the Chase branch that is local to you, where you go, and where you sign up. These things are standard across all Chase Private Client checking accounts. Again, the phone number and the customer service and the debit card. But the other things I'm about to list out are very location dependent. So do keep in mind that you may not necessarily receive these if you go to sign up. Now, this looks like a little welcome bag goodie bag. So you do get like a little tote bag with Chase. And then, it may or may not it might say Chase, it might say private client on it. Depends on when they printed it and things like that. You get a little goodie bag. Now, for me, what they threw in there, they give you a little water bottle, a Chase water bottle. Cool. That's nice. You know, it's a pretty cheap water bottle. I would maybe prefer if this was a metal one, just because then it keeps your water cooler. But hey, I can't complain. It was pretty much a free plastic water bottle. The nice thing I actually really like is the umbrella. They do actually give you a pretty decent, this is pretty much the exact representation of the one that I have that's currently in my car. It's a Chase black umbrella, so it just says Chase. It's a black umbrella. It's honestly pretty nice. It clicks out, it's foldable. Hey, it's a nice little freebie, right? I'll take all the freebies I can get, right? They do give you that. And then that's pretty much it, right? You also, you get the tote bag, you get the water bottle, you get a free umbrella. Now, this does depend on the location. So, maybe my Chase branch had a couple extra goodies to give away. Some branches might give away more or less. So it just depends. It really just depends. This is definitely a perk of going in branch, at least, to sign up. So you may or may not get the goodies, but it's kind of like a nice little side benefit. I figured I would roll through that here in this video here today. Just give my full experience in terms of what you get when you sign up. Now, in terms of what else comes with the Chase Private Client checking account, and what are maybe some other options, right? Maybe if you don't have $150K to put there, or if you don't have business accounts already with Chase, because that could be another easy way to hit the thresholds. What does that look like, right? In terms of what else you get. So you get the team of specialists. Now, that does include, again, kind of like a local banker that you get their personal business card to that you can call. That's going to be your primary point of contact with Chase. And that's going to be for that day-to-day team of specialists, right? The investment guidance, that's kind of optional if you want it. You don't have to have it. Home lending advisor, that's if you're going to be shopping for a home. That's a cool, nice perk. Although, honestly, I did actually get access to a private client home lending advisor, even when I didn't have private client back in the day. So that's kind of something it's a side benefit. Same with the business relationship manager. That's going to be connected to Chase Business Services anyway. So it's going to be a lot of the same people that would be at your bank regardless if you had private client, at least on these couple of things here. Now, the actual, investment side of things, that is sort of like a separate service. The Chase Private Client Banker is helpful to have like a local branch contact to help you with things. Someone that you maybe go and see on a regular basis. That can be helpful, right? So that's their like team of specialists. In terms of the other extras, things that are available, again, we already kind of went through the home lending, auto financing discounts, the exclusive events. Again, these are potentially, things like invitation only, virtual, cultural, sporting events, things like that. Again, how often these actually occur and how often you can actually get to these. Again, something kind of location dependent. I've yet to go to any of these myself, but hey, might be something cool. I don't really know. That's kind of like a question mark in my opinion. It's not necessarily something that's available to everybody, so not really worth spending too much time on that here. In terms of the other things that come with the account, again, you have the app, right? You got to have the minimum balances we talked about. You have the meeting. Now, in terms of the no fees on everyday transactions, that's going to be on no ATM or foreign exchange fees worldwide and no Chase fees for wire transfers. That is a super nice perk that a lot of bank accounts just don't have. As well, you also get we talked about the relationship things. Now, one other thing I have yet to mention in this video is actually the higher limits. Now, this also includes a higher ATM cash withdrawal limit and debit card purchases when you use your Chase Private Client debit card. Most people probably aren't purchasing things on their debit card, but actually having a higher ATM cash withdrawal can be nice if you need a withdraw like a few $1,000s worth of cash. Having that higher limit can be a nice perk because I've called Chase before. There's really no way to increase the basic limits that they give you on most Chase checking accounts. If you need a higher limit, this can be a good way to actually get access to that. If you're dealing with cash transactions a lot, can be pretty nice if you need to withdraw cash on a more regular basis. Having that higher limit can be a nice little side perk that you also get with your private client checking. Now, in terms of maybe if you're not interested in private client, what are some other options with Chase, right? Maybe you don't want to store 150K with Chase, or maybe you don't have like a business checking account with them. Well, there is actually another option. I did talk about it in this video here. I will leave a link to this video in the video description as well, where I compared it to actually a very little known other banking option they do have is Sapphire banking. This is sort of like the poor man's private client, and you can actually unlock this with the Sapphire banking. Now, obviously the name is maybe a little confusing because they also have their Sapphire Preferred and Sapphire Reserve credit cards. This is not actually at all related to the Preferred and Reserve credit cards. This is a checking account under the same and similar Sapphire banking branding. So they use the same branding here, but this actually has half the minimum balance requirements. So if you don't quite hit 150K, you can do it with half at just 75K. And it qualifies the same exact way with the investment or checking account. As you can see here with linked qualifying Chase checking, savings, or other balances. That other balances does actually include investments as well. So if you don't quite have that money, or if you don't quite have the business, you can also unlock the Sapphire banking account, which gives you, at 75K. So this can be sort of like a poor man's private client. It's not necessarily the same exact benefits as private client, although if you're really looking at just avoiding fees, they give you the no ATM fees worldwide, no wire transfer stop payment fees, and again, that's going to be no Chase fee for incoming and outgoing wire transfers. That's going to be on international and domestic. So if you're trying to avoid fees, this could be another good way to kind of get in there. You don't necessarily get all the extra perks like private client, like we discussed earlier, in terms of some of the goodies. You don't really get some of that like extra premium experience in terms of the customer service, and you don't get the private events, things like all those extra side benefits that we did already talk about in this video. You pretty much just avoid a couple of the fees, but if that's what you're looking for, this could be a nice alternative to Chase Private Client. Again, if you want to learn more about Sapphire Bank, I'll go into that in that other video. I'll leave a link in the video description. But overall, with Chase Private Client can be a good option if you want to kind of elevate your Chase experience with them. If you want to get less fees and things like that, can be a nice extra way to elevate your Chase experience with them. So again, private client, is it worth it? It depends. If you want to avoid the fees, it could be worth it for you to upgrade your account, or if you want to link some of those business accounts, can also save you a little bit on some of the business accounts if you want to use that and still stay within the Chase ecosystem. Again, you can do it just with the investment accounts, so that makes it pretty easy, especially with self-directed investing accounts. You're not going to be paying any kind of fees on those, and it's a pretty decent experience overall. I'll leave a link in the video description as well to my review of JP Morgan's investing accounts. I have a little bit more information about that. I'll leave those in the video description. But overall, Chase Private Client Checking, from my experience, it's pretty nice. It's you get the extra customer service line, you get some freebies, you get some free goodies. You avoid some of the fees. Maybe some of these perks are worth it to you. Maybe they're not. But leave that up for you to decide. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have Chase Private Client, if you have any personal experiences with it, if you think it's worth it, or if you think it's not. Let me know down in the comment section below. Guys, if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful on Chase Private Client doing a review, be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway, guys, that's all for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.